My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
Hello, welcome to the Rhythm Section Podcast, here to spotlight the greater Memphis and North Mississippi music community by sharing the stories of our amazing artists. Produced by SRP Studios, a production agency that elevates brand visibility and credibility for businesses using podcast marketing. Go to srpstudiosllc.com for a free consultation.
New episodes drop on Apple and Spotify every Wednesday morning. You can also catch us on YouTube and Facebook at 6 p.m. Central every Wednesday. Go to therhythmsectionpod.com for all other information.
Today's episode is sponsored in part by Hadley's Pub. Join Hadley's as the Christmas for the Kids benefit drive kicks off its 2023 campaign this month with the annual 12 Days of Giving events that okay. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's been a long night. Take two. Slow it down, Derrick. Join Hadley's as the Christmas for the Kids benefit drive kicks off its 2023 campaign this month with the annual 12 Days of Giving events with the debut of Kevin and Bethany Page, rocking out Hadley's Saturday, November 18th.
We love us some Pages. This will be Hadley's 8th year to be involved and ready to hit the ground running with great events all the way up until December the 23rd.
Hadley's invites you and all your friends to join them for great music, fun times, and killer events to help raise money for as many kids and deserving families as possible this year.
Check out their Facebook and Instagram pages for more info on these great events.
Boba Cream. Boba Cream is a veteran-owned, family-friendly business serving delicious boba tea and desserts with a commitment to quality and customer satisfaction.
And you guys know they are located at 131 West Commerce Street in Hernando, Mississippi. Business hours are Tuesday through Friday, 3 to 8 p.m. and Saturday, 11 to 8 p.m.
And Boba Cream is our one retail location for all Rhythm Section Pod merchandise. Shirts, hats, mugs, tumblers, and free stickers. Go to msbobacream.com for more information. If you are a business or a band interested in advertising on this podcast and joining the fun and helping me and Jeff support this podcast, which then in turn supports this community, please go to therhythmsectionpod.com. You'll see a tab at the top saying advertising with. Check it out, fill out that form. I'll get back to you as soon as possible and we'll figure out how we can make that happen. And we would love to hear from you. Yeah, that was exciting. That went really well. I was off to a good start this morning. So yes, good to be here.
Always.
Good to see you, Jeff.
Man, yeah.
Today's going to be awesome. We're going to talk a lot about this weekend. This is the Jeff weekend. So we're going to be spotlighting Jeff a lot. But our real superstar today is Derrin Lee, keyboardist with Elevation Memphis. More to come with him, along with some band sponsors. We'll be announcing band dates, gig dates for our band sponsors. Next week is going to be Seth Kirkendall or Kui Kendall,
yes.
As we've discovered. That's
my favorite way to say it.
He told us that's a version he gets often. And I was like, you should not have told us that. And then down the pipe, Andy and Tracy McCullough, Kenny Francis, Troy Isom, and Lance Binder.
And some others that we've got planned.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of fun stuff ahead. If you were falling behind on episodes, check out last week, Karen Dillard Brown. It's a great interview. Then before that, we started the season off with Chris Craig and Kinley Wolf. So check it out. Go to the rhythmsectionpod.com to see our entire archive. That is the place to go.
Yep.
All right. So like I said, this is the weekend of Jeff. Well, I went out, but you gigged both nights.
Yeah.
So Friday night, you did a private deal with formerly known as.
Yeah.
And then the big story is last night, as we record this on the 29th, last night, Saturday, Contraband, your country project with Sean Few and Charlene had their public debut last night.
Yeah, it was great.
At 10th inning. So how did Friday night go?
Friday night was awesome. Subbing for someone like Jacob Turner is no small task. That guy is unbelievably good. When I sub for him, unfortunately, there are some songs we can't do because Jacob is also a singing drummer,
right?
Which I am not. So when Sean looks back at me and says, "Hey, can you do this one?" I'm like, "Well, not if Jacob sings it." No.
Right.
But it was a great show. We had a lot of fun. Shout out to Robert Clark and his significant other. They put on a great Halloween party. Had a great crowd, and I was honored for Sean and Julian and Mr. Cooey Kendall to ask me to fill in. And,
told you, Seth, you should have never said that to us.
and do that show. We had a great time. I was comfortable. I felt good. The music was great.
How long was the set? What was the night?
I think it was 7 to 11:30.
Okay, that's a strong night.
Yeah, it was. It was, or we may have went to midnight. I can't remember for sure.
So that you had to play the full catalog.
Not the full catalog, but it's a lot. A lot of formerly known as has one hell of a catalog.
Yeah,
it's no
Plus,
short.
they'll. Sean's really good at taking a request. We'll figure it out, and he'll.
And we did that. We did a Cure song, which I don't even remember the name of the tune. Someone requested it, and Sean said, "Hey, do you know this one?" And I said, "No, not really." And he said, "Well, it's just a simple that beat, and off we were, and we pulled it off. It was good."
Yeah, you gotta hang on.
Yeah, when you got guys like them up front, they can carry you if you're a little on the clueless side of what the song is, and that happens occasionally. But that was great.
It kind of feels like my role in this podcast.
No. That wasn't me, by the way. So, it was a great night. And then, of course, last night, Saturday night, 10th inning, Contraband. Mr. Luke Mitchell, Bruce Key, Charlene, Sean Few, and Donna Wolf, and myself. We had a great time. I think it was a very triumphant first outing.
Yeah, the place was packed. Yeah. It was a great weekend to debut, being Halloween weekend.
Yep. It wasn't without a few technical difficulties. I had a couple of issues with the tracks screwing up. We had a couple of issues with some sound gremlins, but that's to be expected when you're playing live. Stuff happens.
But the set list is definitely upbeat. It's the upbeat country.
Couple of slow tunes that we have in there, and we did one of them last night, Strawberry Wine.
Yeah, right.
And I saw like many people in the audience singing that song. So
that's a classic.
Yeah, even though it's a slower tune, it seemed to go over really well.
But you guys do the dancier classic stuff. This isn't bro country.
No, there's a couple of bro country songs because you just can't get away from it. There are people that want to hear that too.
Yeah.
But we do try to keep it towards the dance aspect of it.
Yeah, I thought it sounded great. I was there hanging out.
And a couple of times the dance floor, if you can call it that, was packed.
Yeah, I mean, it was tight quarters in there. If anyone
small.
Isn't familiar with 10th inning, years ago I played there back when it was the filling station.
Yeah.
Anyone that knows. But anyone that doesn't know, it's tight. They put you in a corner. Yeah. You're on the floor. And you guys are 6 people up there too.
Yeah.
I can't believe there was moments where while Shara is singing, her right hand would swing by Sean's face. And then there's times where the headstock of his bass is right in front of her face.
Yeah, I'd much rather see her.
No one lost teeth.
I'd much rather see her slap him than his bass hit her. So, but it was a good night. It was very tight in there, though.
Yeah. So are you relieved?
Very.
Because it was a big
huge
weekend.
build-up, man. I've been woodshedding songs for weeks.
Yeah. And what's cool is the term woodshedding.
Yeah.
That means you sit down and practice
really
and
focus.
Learn your music, but you kind of actually have a woodshed. It's not wooden.
Kind of.
But and it's not a shed, but it's a cottage out in the farm that you can just set your drums up in and be as loud as you want to be.
Well, Susan, sometimes my wife Susan works from home, so I can't really play drums at the house when she's working. Her mother lives with us now. And so, a 90-year-old doesn't really want to hear you banging away all day on the drums.
Your wife is 90?
No, not my wife.
Oh, okay.
My mother-in-law. But so I'll take the drums out to the farm and set up out there. And that way I'm not bothering anyone when I'm making all that noise.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed it. It was fun. And it was also fun to come out because of the lineup. It's now you have this opportunity to see a good mixture of musicians that you won't see in the same room, because they all play in different bands, like Sean, Shara, Bruce Key.
Right. Luke, they're all in different projects.
Right.
And we came together and it really went off well, man.
You guys couldn't have chosen two better guitar pickers.
Oh, they are monsters
for this country music.
Yeah.
And then Bruce Key's vocal between Bruce, Shara, and Sean.
Yep.
You got three very strong vocals.
Singing fools.
I went out Friday to Neil's to see our friends Area 51.
Yeah, always.
And that was a lot of fun. And
speaking of that, Mr. Jimmy Fault from Area 51 came to the show last night to support Contraband. That was awesome to see him there.
Oh, yeah.
And also thanks to everyone that came out. I mean, that's, and I don't know, it was a Halloween shindig, so I doubt that everyone was there, came specifically to see us. But
they did.
Yeah.
And it's because they heard about that show on this podcast.
Well, that's good. I agree.
I mean, tons of people were lining up to tell me that.
Tens of people.
Tens of dozens.
Listen to this podcast.
Well, man, I was in such a rush this morning. I feel like I'm missing something to talk about, but let's highlight the important people. Shall we? Yes, this is when we announced the gig dates for the very gracious bands that are advertising with us and supporting this podcast. And we couldn't be more grateful. Seeing Red, they do have a monthly residency at Lafayette's. The next two they have is Saturday, November 4th at 10 p.m. And then Saturday, December 12th at 10 p.m. as well.
December 2nd.
Oh, man.
I'm glad I caught you.
I'm a mess today.
Yeah.
I'm a mess today. So December 2nd, Lafayette's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
But go to seeingredband.com to really get all the details. And they're just great bio, great information on there, great pictures. You can learn so much about that band by going to seeingredband.com.
Yeah, and Area 51, this band is one of our favorites. We love them. I know Derrick gets out to see them all the time, and sometimes without me. But they've got gigs coming up Friday, November the 17th at Hadley's, 9 to 1. Friday, November the 24th at Neil's, 8 p.m. to midnight. And Saturday, 11/25, that's November. I don't know why all of a sudden I went from November to 11, but okay. At Lafayette's, 6 to 9. Follow Area 51 on Facebook at Area 51 Memphis. We love you guys. Awesome.
Man, you need to pull it together.
Sorry,
Jeff. And then Sean Few and the gaggle of bands. Friday, November 10th, formerly known as at Lafayette's from 10 to 1. Saturday, November 18th, 6 Feet Thunder. Neil's, 8 to midnight. Then the following Saturday, back at Neil's, but with formerly known as, that's on November 25th. And then bring me some figgy pudding.
Yep.
You want to talk about that?
Sean decided to put all four of his bands into one event.
Talk about when and where.
Yeah, the Christmas Quartet at Hadley's, featuring formerly known as 6 Feet Thunder, the Lost 45s, and Contraband. Time and lineup order is to be determined.
That is Sunday, December 10th.
Yep.
At Hadley's.
Yeah.
And you can follow Sean on Facebook at sean.few.7.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know how to make figgy pudding, but I guess Sean wants you to bring him some.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means. I should have asked him last night when I saw him.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So this would be a day where we should probably edit, but we're not doing that, man. That's not how we roll here.
Look, this old man, it's probably been since our Nick Garrison days that I did 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, that's a minute ago.
I'm tired. I am not used to being out until 1 to 2 a.m.
Yeah, I mean,
2 nights in a row.
Yeah, me too. I mean, both nights for me, just as a viewer and hanging out.
Yeah.
But then I didn't anticipate being my daughter's taxi this morning.
Yeah.
So that kind of interrupted some things as in prep for this. So,
well, we had originally said that we were going to come in here at 9:00 this morning to do this because we had other things scheduled that kind of got shuffled around. And thankfully you said, hey, why don't we push it to 11?
Yeah.
Because I don't know that I'd have made it at 9.
It worked out. It definitely worked out. The cancellation became a bonus situation. But all right. Derrin Lee, keyboard player and music director for Elevation Memphis. And I'm proud to say now a friend and bandmate.
And I don't know if it's a separate thing, but also the Tina Turner tribute. I know that involves Elevation.
Yeah, it's the a Tina Turner celebration experience. So they're definitely ramping up that too.
Since we're on that topic, again, I would also like to shout out to LaShawn for showing up last night. Yep. Came and saw some of the show. So we appreciate her support.
And LaShawn and Melanie both came out to Neil's
They had been to see Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, they went out to see Stevie Nicks last night. They said the show was great.
Yeah, she was raving about that.
Stevie Nicks, still playing arenas.
Yeah, I don't know how old she is, but
75.
Wow,
that's what was told to me.
Amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is.
But this is not about Stevie Nicks.
No. And sorry, LaShawn, it's not about you either, but I just wanted to say hi.
Hi, LaShawn. Hi, Melanie. But so Derrin is just a real sweetheart of a guy and just a brilliant musician. When I started playing with them and was kind of brought into the fold, it was a very dynamic, interesting, unique first-time situation for me as I'm coming in and replacing a left hand.
Yeah.
As the bass player.
Sure.
People are probably like, what the fuck's that mean? But Derrin is the keyboard player and he's old school where he can play all the bass lines with his left hand and then frees up his right hand to play the piano, and he can just do both instruments at once, right? Yeah. So a lot of guys can do that. So I roll in and I have to step up and make sure I'm playing, good enough to replace him because he's so great at it. But
for those of you that have trouble walking and chewing gum at the same time, it's difficult to play with a left and right hand on different instrument.
Right. And we talk about it on the show. He's left-handed too, so that makes it even more powerful.
Right.
But we talk about that, but also his education history. Like he went to, I'm trying to read. The other thing is my inkjet is gone. So what does it say? Scholarship.
At Tennessee State University.
That's right. He's got a scholarship from there for piano. Yeah. He's from Dallas. For some reason, he has a nickname, SpongeBob. We kind of touch on that.
Yeah.
But he came in. It was great. I was so happy to be able to have that time to spotlight him because he's sort of a more quiet person. You know, he's not going to be out there and promoting himself on Facebook.
No.
He's not.
And, people would be surprised if you're not a musician. A lot of musicians are kind of quiet.
Yeah.
It's really kind of weird. We find our place on stage, and that's where we kind of come out of that shell and shine.
Mm-hmm.
But if you catch us in public sometimes, if we seem standoffish, it's just because we're nerds. We're not trying to be mean.
Just very awkward people.
And I've been that way. I know I've had people approach me before now that this podcast has kind of gotten us out there. And I know at first I'm just kind of looking at them like, yeah, who are you? But then once I get to know you, man,
the name thing is what's brutal for me.
It's tough.
I can meet someone over and over and over. In the last week's episode with Karen Dillard Brown, as I was listening through it, I made myself chuckle listening to it because I was telling her about names. The name thing came up. And David Gregory, her bass player, I was telling her a story about how he came to one of our watch parties. And I was like, what's up, Greg? How you doing, buddy?
Right.
And he was nice. And hey, And it wasn't until later I was like, I just got his fucking name. And how many times have I seen him?
Right. Well, and I'll tell you, the hard part for me is putting Facebook together with in-person. So I can know someone on Facebook and have communications with them on a daily basis. And then when they approach me in a live setting, I don't know who the hell that is. And they're like, oh, I know you on Facebook. And it takes me a minute. And then I'm like, okay, now I get it.
And there's a moment in episode 1 of this season with Chris Craig and Kinley Wolf where I call Chris Craig.
Right.
Now, first, Chris brings this to my attention.
Right.
Because, after his stuff released, he was like, thanks. And we just started chatting about back and forth about it. And he's like, there was a moment you called me Craig. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then I text you saying, dude, you were supposed to, giving you shit.
Yeah.
Dude, you're supposed to be there to correct me and everything. Well, I listened to the episode and you absolutely did.
I tried.
So not only did I screw the name up, but I was just like
oblivious to the fact that I was saying, hey, dumbass.
Yeah.
That's not who that is.
And then it was just weird. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I mean, geez, I need this like on steroids, but
we have prided ourselves from day one that this podcast is raw, unedited, and all the stupid shit we do stays.
Just a bunch of idiots. So,
yep.
Are we idiots?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, great. I hope you enjoyed this episode with Derrin. It really is awesome. He came to talk and tell his story, and he's got a great one. And he's such a talented musician. He deserves spotlighting in a very big way. If you enjoy Elevation Memphis, at a gig or their originals, go to Spotify, look up Elevation Memphis. Mm-hmm. He's a huge part of the writing and the music direction of that. It's thumbprints on all of it.
And look, get ready for next year and look forward to that, because the Tina Turner tribute thing is going to get legs next year, and they're going to do a lot more with that.
I don't know all the things,
but
I know some things.
Yeah,
and man, they're working on that.
They've got amazing people involved in this thing, and they're putting a lot of work into it, and it's only going to get better and better.
So again, therhythmsectionpod.com.
Yep.
Check it out. All of our archives. You can find our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our YouTube channel, all of it at that website. Again, 131 West Commerce Street if you want to check out some of our merch.
Yep.
Thank you to all the sponsors that you heard in this intro.
Absolutely.
We can't do it without you.
Yeah.
And thanks for the audience, right, Jeff?
Absolutely. You guys are amazing, and we can't do it without you. And look, get out and support local music, man. We need you.
And we're so appreciative of your patience with me and Jeff as you listen through the shit show that is every intro.
But right now the shit show is ending, and Derrin is on the way.
That's right. Derrin Lee, everybody. Take care.
Thanks.
All right, Jeff. I'm excited to have my new good friend, Derrin Lee from Elevation Memphis in today. How you doing, Derrin?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Man, we just had a gig last night.
That's awesome.
Of course, we're
Great Scott!
timeline issue, but yeah, we did our first Tina Turner show.
We did.
Awesome. Derrin graded me. I won't say what he gave me, but there's room for improvement.
There's always room for improvement with everybody, even me.
That's right, Derrin. So yeah, Derrin, man, I'm excited about this because I have been now fortunate to, play with you. Now I've done 3 shows with you and everything, but
has it been 3?
Did Ernestine Hazel's, Kitchen and the Cross, and then now Tina Turner deal.
Tina.
It feels like more.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
A good thing.
All right, there we go. But there's so much of you that I don't know, which is going to be cool to get to know you more in here. So I know you as the badass keyboard player in Elevation Memphis. I want to talk about your golden left hand. That sounds weird, I'm sure, a lot, but really, also your history. So let's talk about where you're from before we kind of break into Elevation Memphis. Are you from the Memphis area?
I'm actually not. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas.
No.
Okay. What's the leap?
The leap was my dad moved here, and my mom, we was living in Texas until about 8 or 9, and my mom told me and my brother that we was like, we're going to go on a road trip. Apparently, we're still on that road trip.
Never went back home.
So, yeah.
So how old are you?
I am 34.
34. So yeah, man, that's a long road trip.
It is.
So what'd you think when you got here?
It was very different. The culture shock. Of course, the humidity from the weather difference.
Because it's more humid there, right?
Nope, it's actually dry.
Oh, because Dallas is northern Texas. Not North Texas, but northern.
Yeah,
Houston is like a
It's like being here.
sweat pit.
Yeah, there's closer to the water.
Yeah, but yeah, out here is definitely humid.
Yes,
sticky.
Yeah. Another thing is Tennessee's big on basketball, whereas Texas is big on football.
So are you on the football side of things?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So was it Longhorns?
Not Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Oh.
Me
I was
too.
thinking college.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Nah, I'm not a big college fan.
Yeah.
But no, diehard Cowboys.
Dallas. What are they, 2-0 now?
Yeah.
We are.
There's all these memes immediately out there.
Every day.
I mean, the Cowboys are the ones to pick on, but they're like 1-0 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm the true heart. I ride with the best of them, even when we're winning and when we're losing.
Dak Prescott's fun to watch too.
He is.
I think he's legit.
He is.
I've always enjoyed watching them. But yeah, for the diehard fans, because I have a very close friend in Nashville who's a diehard fan, and it's just like, you guys go through some torture because just when you think it might be finally your year, something goes down.
And I tell folks all the time, it's like people that get mad or they want to talk trash and want to try to fight. And it's like, y'all do realize everyone is still human, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, they still make mistakes and it's still physical. So
it's just a game.
It's just a game.
Unless it's hockey, then it's life and death.
I was like, they're the ones that's making, $5 million to go put their foot on the grass. I'm just sitting at home.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's easy for us to judge. Mm-hmm. Why didn't he throw it to this guy on the left? Because he had 300-pound men chasing him down.
Right. Like, what would you do if you had a truck coming to you?
Right, exactly. So how old were you when you started playing? What's the history now? Like, how did you end up becoming a musician?
So I was always, I guess, surrounded with music because my grandmother, my dad's mother, was the minister of music at church. My grandfather, my dad's dad, was a pastor of the church in McKinley, Texas, Bethlehem Baptist Church. And it was always something about the piano that just kind of gave me comfort with it. And when I moved, I wasn't able to get any lessons or anything. So my grandmother, she told me, she was like, hey, well, since you're moving, I can't give you any lessons. So what I can teach you is Mary Had Little Lamb. So she taught me Mary Had Little Lamb. She said, it's up to you to take it however far you want to take it. And so that's what I did. I took it. I took Mary Had Little Lamb. And when I came to Memphis, I got into music. When I went to White Station Elementary, got surrounded with the piano courses, took string ensemble, learned the violin, the viola, the upright bass, the cello.
Nice.
Went from that to choir. Then got into middle school, got the choir, and then got into band, played the French horn. Then jumped back into the choir for high school. Then went to Central, stayed in the choir around there, got into All West on the choir for 3 years straight. But then Mr. Robinson allowed me to really just start honing my skill on the piano there, where I would just literally go to the main library in Memphis on Poplar and just get sheet, because a lot of people don't know you can rent sheet music from there. So I would get it,
it wouldn't do me any good.
And I would literally I would be at the piano and I would be picking out, trying to read the piano sheet music and just practice playing the music. And it would be just songs, that common songs that you would know, like Mary Had Little Lamb, and I would just practice actually playing it and reading it at the same time and things like that.
Because by this time, because of all the band and chorus and everything,
right,
notation is probably very fluent for you, right?
Not fluid, but around when I turned 15, 16, I really just started. I really just became a passion of mine. That's why I really started getting the real hunger for it. And it's like, you know what? Out of everything that I wanted to do, this is what I really, my drive is, my passion is, and this is what because, around 15 to 16, when you're growing up, you're really starting to get a focus on hey, you know what? I think this is what I want to do in life. This is what speaks to me. And by that time, I realized that music is the universal language.
It's true.
Because music is the one language that it can make you mad, it can make you sad, it can make you cry, it can make you happy.
Mm-hmm. It is pretty wild that frequencies can portray emotion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And one thing that my grandmother said before she passed away was, if you do music, make sure that you do it, make sure that you love it, that you will do it for free. And make sure that it comes from the heart. And that's one thing that even when I got my tattoo, I had a tattoo to remind me every day is music strictly from the heart. So that every time I play, that I'm always passing the message along that whatever I do, it comes from the heart, that I'm touching somebody no matter wherever I'm playing, whether it's at a club or at a venue or at a church.
Now, having rehearsed a lot with you and played some shows with you, you're an extremely humble person. I want you to know that.
Appreciate it.
That's pretty evident. Very chill. He has yelled at me a few times, though, Jeff.
I bet you deserved it every time.
No, the ladies will get fired up.
Yeah.
LaShawn and Melanie will be quick to be like, hey, something's going to be upgraded here. But that's an awesome message, though, because it's true. And I didn't get that message, so it can be torturous on the other side where when you're trying to just find that gig, just find the gig. I need to make some money. Next gig, next. And just, and that gets, it's soulless.
Yeah. And so after high school, I really decided I wanted to take it further and go to school for it. I ended up going to Tennessee State University in Nashville, to where I was the only one to ever walk off the street and win a piano scholarship from a composition that I composed primarily, to where I arranged a piece to where I orchestrated going from a classical to, I guess you could say, a Orpheum style ballad. And then I ended into another whole classical piece transposed to a whole different key. And they were just amazed by that. The department head was just amazed that I was able to just arrange all of that.
Yeah, I would say so.
So yeah. So
how old were you when this went down?
I was 18.
18.
Wow.
I couldn't get out of my own way when I was 18. Are you kidding me? You don't even want to know what I was doing, but that's outstanding, man. So then now you get the scholarship. Was it like partial? Was it a full boat? Like what kind of scholarship?
It was partial. I was receiving $1,000 a semester towards my tuition, which was more than enough to help.
Oh,
anyway, along with the other scholarships that I had, one, I didn't even know I could get a scholarship for being a twin, but that helped because I was a twin. So
I just learned two things. Good to know. I didn't know you had a twin.
I had a twin, and then I had a scholarship for being left-handed. So,
we're going to be talking about that left hand. That's coming up. So, how long were you in Nashville?
About 10 years, I want to say.
Oh wow! What year? Now, what years were this?
2007, and I left and came back here probably about 2010 from school, and then I went back about 2012 to finish, and then I came back here about 2018.
Wow, we had overlap. I was in Nashville 05 through 10.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So
I was
not succeeding like you, sir.
I was too young to be on Broadway at that time.
Yeah, I don't have a twin. I'm not left-handed, so
and you never got a scholarship.
No school for me. No composition either. But that's really wild, man. So what is your official degree?
I have a degree in music, piano performance.
Awesome, man. So you get a scholarship for being left-handed.
Yes.
Is it that super rare? Why is there? That's just fun. And having a twin brother, those just sound so.
Apparently so. It's one of the things where the internet can be your friend, and you can just look up random things to just find out scholarships for.
And you don't ask questions. When someone offers you money, you just say thank you.
I mean, it was one of these like, okay,
sure, take it. So as I've got to know you and listen to you play, you're one of those players that you can play the bass lines with your left hand, right? Well, and I know that's a different art. Not a lot of piano players can do that. They're more just like playing the songs. I don't know, but you're really good at it. And is that because you're left-handed? I mean, you're an amazing musician, so that would work, but does being left-handed help that?
I would say to some degree, and to some degree, no. Mostly it's because my piano teacher, one of my piano teachers, Dr. Perky, who was my first piano teacher in college. By the way, she was my first official piano teacher because when I first got lessons, when I was like, by the time my parents got me lessons when I was like 16, I got kicked out of piano lessons.
What'd you do, Derrin?
I didn't do anything. But the piano teacher told my parents after I played for him the first time, he told them, he was like, there's nothing more that I could teach him. He knows everything that I could possibly teach him at this time.
It's a good problem to have.
It is.
So
explain to me the left hand thing. What I'm clueless. I have no idea about piano. What are you doing with your left hand? Is it multiple keyboards and you're doing something with over here?
Well, no. So it's one keyboard, and what I do is I have it split to where I have a bass pad on the left, and I have piano or organ or whatever sound I need on the right.
The keys go from low to high, left to right. So the keys on the left side are the lower octaves.
Okay.
And so I'll comp the bass, since a lot of times I don't have a bass player, I'll comp the bass with my left hand to fill in the void of not having a bass player.
Cool.
Which is so invaluable for any band. You know, that way you and LaShawn and Melanie can do all these three-piece acoustic stuff, and then you got Melanie on the djembe, and then you're covering two instruments, and it sounds super full.
Right.
You know, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
I saw you guys with Jeff, actually. It was some benefit at Neil's. And then after getting to know you all, went out and visited and watched you guys at Ernestine and Hazel's. And that's when I saw you guys in your element. And I'm like, yeah, these guys are badass, you know. And your bass, also what I love, not only your playing, but because maybe it's because it's coming from a keyboard, you can just hear every note. It's super clean. That makes sense? You know, where bass can be kind of go woofy sometimes. And
it took a lot. It took a lot of practice for that. Going back to my piano teacher, even when playing classical pieces, like when I would mess up, she would always tell me, if you mess up or get stuck, always keep your left hand going until you find your place. On the flip side of that is because I play in church a lot, you're not very fortunate to always have a full band in church. In most African-American churches, you normally just have piano and drums. So a lot of times the piano player has to comp for the bass or guitar or whatever other instrument is not, the song is being played.
Are you playing foot pedals too?
If I'm on the organ, yes.
Explain the foot pedals to me. That's just another form of playing the bass notes, right?
Yeah, so if you're on a Hammond B3 or C3 in most churches, you will have two sets of keyboards on top. You have sometimes one can be for like lead or solo, and the other one can be for the chord, and then you have foot pedals that'll look like keyboard, but that'll be to run the bass line.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's almost like a pipe organ. That's what a pipe organ does too. One of my greatest mentors here, Dr. Leo Davis, is a phenomenal pipe organist. He was at Mississippi Boulevard, but he now is at Second Presbyterian Church. Okay. But he's phenomenal. Watching him play just a pipe organ, period.
And the sound must be amazing.
It is. I'm just between all of those, and I'm like, all of those buttons, I was just getting confused instantly.
Yeah, well, most people would get confused doing what you're talking about doing too.
Yeah, your feet, both hands, separating.
That's crazy.
Now, you're the music director, I've learned, right, at your church?
Yes.
What church is this again?
I'm at Cathedral of Faith Ministries.
How long you been there?
I recently got there about a little bit over a year ago.
Oh, okay. Were you a music director at previous churches, or is this the first time?
I was at Gospel Temple Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay. How do you like it?
Loved it.
Yeah. And you're Elevation Memphis's band director. So
you're the man in charge.
That's right. He's like, nope, we're doing this instead.
That's cool.
Do you have any like rock R&B, contemporary influences, like Stevie Wonder, for example, or anything, rock related? Because I know Elevation Memphis, and I think LaShawn Robinson Henderson, I know she's listening. She loves rock. So I'm sure she's part of why Elevation does a lot of rock. But did you grow up in rock at all?
I wouldn't say I grew up in rock. My parents pretty much let me listen to everything. My playlist is so eclectic. So I can sit up here and, matter of fact, on the way down here, I had it on the classical station. I remember growing up, I had it, me and my brother would go to sleep on 91.1.
What was that station?
The classical station.
Oh, it was classical.
And then I'll turn around and listen to reggae. I'll listen to country. One thing that I always wanted to do was be a well-rounded musician to where I can be called. I wanted to be that musician that could be called to be like, hey, I need you to play this country gig.
Yeah.
And then, okay, can you play rock and roll? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you play blues?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be solidified as that person just be only play, he's only good for blues and R&B and gospel.
Right.
So Elevation's another band that's got a very wide-ranging set list.
Very.
There is no single genre on that set list. It covers all of it. Yep. So that's cool.
And I've enjoyed learning that song list, my friend. Especially now, I want to break into the Tina Turner tribute stuff at some point too, because that's been eye-opening. But you don't have that one artist that really just sticks out above everybody? That's a hard thing to answer. I know.
It really is. I mean,
it just varies, yeah.
Like if you're talking about jazz, my all-time favorite jazz person is Art Tatum. But
jazz is so foreign to me. Like,
yeah, me too.
But if you're talking about in today's time, I would say probably like today's time, your most underrated artist right now, I would say would probably be like her or Rochelle Farrell, even Jamie Foxx as a musician.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, yeah.
But of course, you can't forget the great Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Stevie Nicks, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta love them. Jordan Rudess with I believe his name is Dream
Theater.
Dream Theater. There you go.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it is.
Is it? I don't know the guys in Dream Theater.
Me
I
either.
was just joking. But
Jordan
is he? What is he playing in Dream Theater?
Keys.
Okay, the keyboard player. Yeah.
And
is he the guy with the big ass goatee?
Yes.
The white. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry for all the Dream Theater fans out there. They're cringing that we don't know this right now.
No, they're an amazing band, but I don't know all of them by name.
I watched him a lot, like playing, just orchestrating sounds and things like that. A lot of times, I just watch a lot of different people and how they orchestrate and build sounds to orchestrate shows and things like that to change things. Because one thing I hate being is boring.
Mm-hmm.
Being and me, a lot of times I hate being that bored keyboard player.
Yeah.
Even growing up as a kid, of course, being a twin, it's like when you get bored, you get in trouble. Your parents used to say, "I know my child is up to something when he gets quiet."
It's too quiet in here.
And that's kind of how I am. It's like when I get bored playing the keyboard, I start getting in trouble and start fumbling around. So I always try to keep something. And I know that if I get bored, then I know that the audience is more than likely getting bored from listening to it. So
yeah, you're definitely good at throwing the band some curveballs in the middle of songs out of nowhere. Keeps it exciting though, because I know all too well about playing bored. Mm-hmm. And it was years, and anyone that listens to this show understands my history in playing a lot of country music, and God love it. It has its place, but it just...
The 1-4-5.
Yeah, it just got... I don't want to sound like this, but it got easy, and it just got boring, and the same songs over and over. And yeah, for me, when I get bored, that's when I just start clamming and making mistakes left and right. Yeah. So my attention span just flies, on stage in real time. It's not fun at all. But you guys keep me on my toes.
Well, it's one of those things where I want to say getting bored is a bad thing. It's one of those things where you don't get complacent with just just being okay. It's one thing to be good at your craft, and once you get good at your craft, then there's room to expand on making the song more than what the average listener is listening to. You know, one thing that I like to do is when I learn a song, I don't want to learn it like the record. I don't want to play like the record because anybody can go home and listen to the record. You know, so what can I do to make them say, hey, you know what? I like this version better than the record.
Yeah.
I want to see them do this.
Yeah.
And I tell anybody all the time, you can go see Stevie Wonder. If you listen to his song on the record, let's say Superstition, you can listen to it on YouTube. But then if you go see it live, it'll be nothing like the record.
Right.
You know, the live version is going to always be better. And that's what I always try to do when I learn a song and we perform it in Elevation. I want to make it to where it's better than what you would hear on the record or the radio.
It's different. And then it becomes unique to you.
Yep. It becomes our signature.
Yep. So while we're touching on Elevation, let's jump to that. How did you guys connect? How did you become part of that band?
A former member of the band came to me and said that they were looking for a piano player, a keyboard player, and asked me would I mind auditioning for it. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. He actually played at the church that I played at before, or I was at now at Gospel Temple. And so they gave me 3 songs. I can't remember the 3 songs it were. It was so long ago.
What year was this?
This was
roughly.
What year is this? 2023? This was 2019, I want to say.
And both Melanie and LaShawn's probably told me this several times. And my mom just forgets stuff. So sorry, ladies. And they've been in here telling us this story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2019, I want to say. And oddly enough, I mean, they're going to hate me for this, but I didn't learn the songs until on my way to the
you dirty dog, you.
I literally had the song. I pulled up the song on the radio, connected my phone to the radio, and listened to the song on the way there. And I was like, all right, let me get in here and do these songs real quick. So went through the 3 songs. By the second song, Melanie and she was like, okay, you're in. And I was like, well, we can go through the 3rd song. Oh, no, you're in. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay,
There you go. So, yeah, because when I think of Elevation, I absolutely think of you, Melanie, and LaShawn, like the 3 of you. I know Derrin Little is, been, I guess you'd call it an official member too, as far as out there. But I don't know. I just see you 3. You guys just work so well together, and arranging all this stuff. So I can see why it clicked immediately. Just in and out, just bam, good to go.
And it was funny because I was just showing up because I was just like, okay, they just need a keyboard player. And then they were like, well, we're trying to make the band. I said, well, my thing is anything that I do it wholeheartedly.
Sure.
As a man, your word is your bond. And if I say I'm going to commit, I'm going to commit. And I said, I'll take it as far as y'all want to take it. And that's where I said, even with our first show, we had some things happen to where it was just only me. And I said, as long as I'm attached to this, and if I didn't say I'm quitting, then we're going to do this show regardless of what happens. So it's one of the things where it's like anything happens because a lot of people don't understand the behind the scenes of music. They just see the concerts and all of that. They don't understand the hardship that it takes to get
to that point.
But it's those moments that reminds us when we get to those points of why we do this. And that's what we thrive for.
Right.
Amen to that.
For sure.
For sure. Now, when did you all start writing together?
Probably about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
I want to say. Melanie came and said that she wanted to start doing some original. And LaShawn had made mention that she had a song that she'd been holding on to named Speechless. And we had fooled around with it before, but
I think they mentioned that it was not hard rocking like it is now.
Nah, right. And so we was playing around with it. And then another former member, the guitarist, we were all just kind of playing around with it, and then we kind of just flipped it to make it into a hard rock song the way it is now.
It's a great chorus. That's when it flips into that rock.
Then again, my thing was, okay, what can I do to make it kind of stand out? And me, of course, I like to play with tones and intonations. So a lot of times, like with the bass line, because I can play a little bass on actual bass. I can play. That's why I can do little things that I know.
So you played an actual bass guitar for that track?
No, I didn't. I still played the key bass for that. I still want to get better on the actual axe for it.
Well, I can give you some lessons, Derrin.
Hey, I'll take it.
You keep threatening that you're going to let me use your Fender 4-string jazz. I'm all about it.
Hey, I will let you.
Yeah, bring it to the next rehearsal.
I will.
Yeah, no.
I will load it up and bring it.
Because there really is a difference in tone between 4 and 5 strings.
It is.
It is totally different feel. I mean, you can't replace just a standard traditional 4-string bass.
Yeah.
Fender, jazz, P.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
But I like playing with different intonations and like different chord structures. And that's one thing that was fun doing on Speechless, especially, make it sound so classical to just kind of just say, okay, here's a flip.
It makes it surprising. It makes it something different. It catches your attention, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So way off topic here. I got to ask you this. I'm dying to know. When you go to your Facebook page, it says Derrin Lee, and then in parentheses, SpongeBob. So where are we going with this?
So that comes from one of my mentors, Billy Rivers. He is one of the gospel icons from Billy Rivers and the Angelic Voices of Faith.
This is not what I expected. This is very interesting. But
matter of fact, me and him connected when I was at Gospel Temple, and he's kind of became a mentor of mine, even because he plays organ, world-renowned organist, pianist, and singer. But he ended up calling me, giving me the nickname SpongeBob, because he says, man, all you do is just soak up knowledge. He's like, anything I tell you or show you, you just soak it up. You go home, you practice it and shed it, and you come back and it's 10 times better.
Yeah.
So he said, I'm going to call you SpongeBob. So every time he sees me, he said, what's up, SpongeBob?
I'm going to remember this now. And it's a good way to differentiate the names, because we got 2 Derrins. So, well, the other one's Boom Boom. Yeah. Derrin Boom Boom Little. I told him, I'm like, I'm going to call you Boom. Right. Boom Boom. That's from the ladies. Right. That sounds more like a lady would say that. I'll call you Boom. Now you get SpongeBob. Maybe I'll shorten it to Sponge. We got Sponge and Boom. I'm sorry.
Where are you going?
I have no idea.
I don't know where he's going with this.
I don't either. I don't. Oh, this is it. This is. Shut up, Brian. So the Tina Turner tribute stuff, like,
yes,
you enjoying that?
I am.
Yeah,
it's been fun. It's been stressful, but it's been fun.
Because I know you guys have been working on this way before I kind of came into the picture. And then, if I remember correctly, it stemmed from LaShawn and Melanie went to the Orpheum to see the musical.
Yep,
okay. And that was it. It was life changing for them, right?
It's one of those things where what they do now is they call me or text me and say, "Hey, Derrin, we want to do this," and I say, "Okay."
Whatever you say.
It's like, okay, the ball is in my court. Now it's time to get it done.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's just excellent music.
Well, it's just like I've told you this about other artists that I've maybe gone to concerts and seen. Collective Soul was one of them. You don't realize how many hits they have until you get there and you hear song after song. You're like, holy crap. Mm-hmm. Well, it's the same with Tina Turner. I was never an avid listener of Tina, but they sent me a list of songs. Just, hey, check this out. I'm looking online, and every one I click on, I'm like, oh my God, that's Tina Turner. I didn't realize, she just
huge hit with Bryan Adams,
hit after hit.
She did stuff with David Bowie.
Yeah. It's just amazing stuff. And I had forgotten like the movie soundtrack she had been a part of. So she's
Thunderdome.
Yeah, such a great song.
Yeah, I remember when Melanie first mentioned it to me. I was like, I asked her, I'm like, does she have enough material to fill a full night? She's like, yeah. So now that I've had to learn that whole list, man, it made me a better player too. It just totally, finally, just something different, way outside of my comfort zone as far as just hearing this music I'd never heard before outside of her big hits, right? That I remember when I was a kid.
A lot of people don't realize that the catalog of some artists don't even expands more than just even them singing on songs, because there's some songs that they even wrote that are theirs that even fall into them, because just like, oh man, I didn't even know that they did this, and it's like, oh, they did do it, but they wrote it, so it's still there. So when you look at Tina Turner's catalog, it's like, oh,
because all the Ike and Turner years, it's just vast.
Yeah.
Fast.
Like Drift Away that they did. Change Is Gonna Come. She did a version of the Star Spangled Banner that was very popular.
Of course, Proud Mary.
Proud Mary.
The iconic version of Proud Mary. And I like playing that version. Yeah. I like that do like that. They didn't CCR didn't do that, but shoot, what was I?
No, you were just talking about the Tina project. Is where
So no, I still can't think.
No.
Okay, I'm going to turn my mic off again, Jeff.
Okay,
I had to do this.
I got you
during Troy Isom's interview.
Yeah, done.
All right, go ahead, Jeff.
I got it. Take over. I'll take over. But no, so the Tina thing, I know, and this is going to be a timeline thing, but coming up at Neil's in October, you're doing it there. And then from what I understand, you guys are planning on doing a lot more Tina shows in the future, both here and maybe not necessarily here.
Abroad, maybe.
That's the plan.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
So last night, again, timeline, but we did our first show at the Tina Turner Museum,
which I didn't even know existed.
Neither did I.
Yeah, I didn't know that was
Neither did I. In Brownsville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
You didn't either?
No.
I thought it was a launching, like an opening of it, but no, it was just, it's an annual thing they do. But this year was a little extra special because she just passed.
I thought it was deeper off the highway.
Me too. I mean, it's right off the exit. Bam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the school that she went to was moved there. So you walk in, you can see the schoolhouse that she grew up in. Back then it was just one room.
Right.
It was fascinating. You walk in the museum and all of her wardrobe, the crazy stuff she used to wear.
Right.
It's really cool.
And we mentioned this in Troy Isom's episode because he plays guitar in some of these shows as well. But get out and check this thing out because this is no joke. They've got dancers, they've got backup singers, a full band. This is a tribute show.
Yeah.
This is not just a band getting up there and playing some songs. You will have a blast and you'll enjoy it.
So episode 1 of this season, by the time you're hearing this, came out on October 18th. The show is the 14th.
The 14th.
So, that timeline deal. But I'll be sure to be talking about it on one of our intros for sure.
Absolutely.
I'll be catching everybody up on it. But yeah, it's obviously we got Elevation. We got Double D's, Derrin, LaShawn, Melanie. Okay, then the guest spots. For the museum, we had Troy Isom. The Neil show, we got Josh Haynes. I'm on it. But then we have Karen Dillard Brown. And Gina Moore, is that her last name?
I believe so.
Yeah, she sings with Pulse, the Floyd tribute. So for the museum show last night, we had the 3 dancers. And then I can't wait because in Neil's, we're going to have a horn section. And I can't wait to see what you've done with them. And pointing to Darren, because you've been kind of composing them, right? Directing them. And I haven't heard one note of it yet. Are they going to start coming to our rehearsals?
Not this week. It's going to be next week. But yes, they will be.
And you got trumpet, trombone, sax?
Yes.
Yeah, was that sort of the traditional 3-piece?
Yeah, that's usually the traditional 3-piece. Sometimes it'll be like 2 trumpets and a sax. It just depends on what you're looking for, the sound that you're looking for. But usually for most sections, like Tina Turner, she'll normally use the trumpet, trombone, and the sax.
Yeah. Man, it's going to be so awesome. I've never played with a horn section before.
It's going to be fun.
Only tracks.
and this is what Derrin was talking about earlier when he made the comment that a lot of people don't realize. You just see the finished product. the amount of rehearsing that's got to be going into this thing with a horn section, dancers. I can't imagine the amount of energy you guys are expending on this.
And it's a testament to Derrin and the ladies.
That's
Because
awesome.
I show up for the rehearsal. I'm doing my part. But
Sure.
outside of that rehearsal, Darren's working with the horn section, LaShawn and Melanie, or was it Melanie working with the dancers?
Melanie and LaShawn both.
Yeah,
both teammates.
it's just
crazy.
It's pretty wild. And the dancers kick some major ass, too.
That's awesome.
That's
so cool.
And we got a great view from the stage, too, by the way, I'll just say. But,
and then I'm the one that has to memorize everybody's parts.
Yeah, and then that's when I get the hairy eyeball and the slap across the face.
They've already told you you're a sponge. You're good to go. Remember all this stuff.
But yeah, so it's great. And LaShawn and Melanie, they bring the costume element to it too, and it's just it's really cool. I hope this grows. I hope it grows for y'all, but also selfishly. I'm not gonna lie. I want to be a part of this long term because it's just fun to play.
I don't see how it can help but grow. I think it'll be amazing.
I expect it to.
Yeah. Because also, let's face it, the singers also are hitting all the notes. So we have singers that can handle. Yeah,
they're not
the
amateurs.
Stuff. No,
they're doing it. They're killing it.
Yep.
One thing I'm going to do is definitely push. They know I'm going to push them to be more vocal.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Cool.
Yep. LaShawn talks too much though. Well, cool, man. I know she's listening. That's why I said that. Well, man, this has been such a pleasure having you up here, Derrin, and get to know you. And I'm thrilled that I get to work with you here and there.
Likewise.
Really exciting, And man, what do you say, Jeff?
Cue the music. I don't know. What do you want me to say? I thought you were going to play the music.
Give me a keyboard. I'll play right now.
There you go.
There's some rock, Derrin.
Yeah.
Is that an E?
I don't know. I've never learned it. I know it's a drop tuning.
Drop D?
It's a drop tuning. Probably drop D.
Drop D. Awesome.
This is our friend Sean Few and Jimmy Fault.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, man. Awesome, Derrin. Looking forward to rehearsing with you again very soon and ripping this show out. And I know Jeff's going to be there. And,
I can't wait to come and see it. It's going to be a blast.
And as everybody's listening to this, it's already happened.
So. That's all good, man. We had a great time.
TheRhythmSectionPod.com, everybody. That's your one-stop shop. Check it out. You get all our channels there. We got merch, Boba Cream. We got shirts, hats, mugs, tumblers, free stickers, Boba Cream, 131 West Carmen Street, Hernando, Mississippi.
Get you a boba tea while you're there.
Yes, delicious.
Bubble tea, whatever it is.
What about the audience, Jeff?
Man, we love the audience.
Do we love the audience?
We love the audience. We love you guys. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Thank you for staying with us while we had our little hiatus. We're back. We're back in raw and rare form, and we love you guys. We just couldn't do it without you. Get out and see a band like Elevation Memphis, like the Tina Turner tribute, with people like Derrin and Derrick and Boom and SpongeBob. So get out and see a band and support these guys, because without you, it just doesn't happen.
And thanks for muscling through our cobwebs and our dustiness here.
Yeah.
And I mean me. So, all right, y'all. Thanks again, Derrin.
Thank you.
Jeff, and y'all have a great day.
Woo.